Good morning and welcome to Wake Up to Broker Up with Mark, episode number 10 for 2025. Well, today the time moves an hour forward. Actually, not today, but overnight. We spring ahead, as they say, and we go into daylight saving time, although commonly referred to as daylight savings time. I think it should have been daylight extended time, but they didn't ask me, and it's been going on a long time, and most of us kind of just shake our heads at the moving of time back and forth an hour annually twice a year. It's kind of weird, but I think it's appropriate to talk about time today and to talk about how you occupy your time. And if you know that 80% of your results are done in 20% of the time, you probably should maximize the 20% of the time that you're producing 80% of your results. So with that in mind, I want to bring something to your attention regarding the 2025 GAR forms, because they made a change. And a few times in the last couple of weeks, I've heard from both our people on the buy side as well as our people on the listing side talk about the confusion that reigns out there regarding these forms. So, of course, there's the F258, which is the pre-showing compensation agreement, and only F258. There are two blanks here, and for some reason, some agents, both internally here at Atlanta Communities and in the marketplace, are putting the overall compensation that they're getting in the listing agreement, and then they're putting the part that they may or may not be sharing or the seller may be paying to the buyer's broker. Consequently, they may be obligating themselves to pay X amount of percent, which is the total compensation, and they've agreed to pay it to the buy side. Not good. That means the listing agent won't get paid. And then the second one is the buyer broker compensation agreement, which is the F259, which is attached to the purchase and sale agreement, as you know. But nowhere on this does it indicate what the listing agent and or the seller is paying the listing agent. This is all about the buyer's agent. So we have seen this come across where it says that they're paying 5.5% and then they're paying 3% to the buy side, which means that they're paying all of that to the buyer's agent, because this doesn't talk about seller's compensation, seller's agent compensation. So back to time. This is where you want to spend at least a few minutes of your time reading these forms, especially as they relate to how you get paid. The last one is the instructions to the closing attorney, which is the F255. Be prepared to provide this to the closing attorney. Don't get angry and say, hey, we've attached the exhibit. How does that benefit you? Well, the truth is it doesn't. Cooperation. You can maintain your focus on the person you represent and still be cooperative. And you should just raise your hand and volunteer. Hey, I'll do that if it makes this transaction flow easier and better. And more importantly, if it helps you get paid. Whatever it takes. Be friendly, be excited. Use your time wisely to be fully engaged in the transaction to help the buyer buy and the seller sell and get the transaction closed. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching, and make sure that you spring forward overnight tonight so that you won't be behind tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.